Who is the best wide receiver duo in the NFL? We've got a tier list today to find out. We're going to be putting them in S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and F tier. If your team is an F tier, I'm sorry ahead of time. Y'all love the last tier list. Let's get going. I'm not going to spend 30 minutes doing this one. We are going to fly through it. Okay, Brandon Ayuk and Jawan Jennings. Look, this duo a little bit unseen because we haven't seen Jawan Jennings really as the wide receiver two yet. Brandon Ayuk coming off a bad tear, but I still think it's a B tier. I think it's respectful to put them there. It's a little bit unknown between those two, but I like that there. DJ Moore and Rome Odunze kind of on the same boat. Kind of fell off last year in terms of DJ Moore, but I like Rome Odunze as a wide receiver too, and I can't really blame DJ Moore. He's trying to adjust to Caleb Williams. I think that they'll be all right eventually. I think going into the season, B tier is completely and totally fair. Bears fans, let me know what you think. Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins for the Cincinnati Bengals are an S tier duo. They have to be the best duo of anybody on this list, right? They have to be. They have to be. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Yeah, no, actually they're not. Looking at this list, there is a wide receiver duo in here that is better than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman, yeah, that's an S tier duo right there. Obviously S tier. Yeah, I'm kidding. D tier, I think, is even being generous, but I think Khalil Shakir is underrated and Keon Coleman has a lot of potential. I think he can flourish as the wide receiver too, but it's kind of a little bit unseen. I'm just going to respect Khalil Shakir and put them in the D tier. Courtland Sutton and Marvin Mims. Courtland Sutton is a great high end wide receiver too, and Marvin Mims is a good low end wide receiver too as well. So they, in my eyes, have two wide receiver twos, and I think that puts them right into the C tier category, and I think that that is completely fair. Next up for the Cleveland Browns, we've got Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. These two are going to be our first F tier wide receiver duo. You're not really getting much from Jerry Jeudy. Cedric Tillman honestly carries the duo. The only time Jerry Jeudy was good last year was against the Denver Broncos, I'm sorry, and with Jameis Winston. But what wide receiver isn't good with Jameis Winston? Respectfully, that duo is F tier. The Browns need a wide receiver pretty desperately. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. If Mike Evans was, I don't know, 28, 29, 27, this would be a S tier duo. But Mike Evans kind of fallen off a little bit. He's still very good. Got his 1,000 yards. He's obviously not as dominant as he once was, which is going to put him in A. But Chris Godwin, entering his prime, might be a low end wide receiver one. Having two wide receiver ones, tough not to put them in S, but they are borderline on that S tier. But I think they're A. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Micah Wilson for the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to be a D tier wide receiver duo. I think I like Marvin Harrison as the wide receiver one more than Jeudy or Tillman, but I also like Jeudy and Tillman more than Michael Wilson. So I don't know. Cardinals and D tier I think is totally fair. The Chargers, I kind of feel the same way. Ladd McConkey, really, really good. Better than Marvin Harrison, but Quentin Johnston really brings him down. He has so much potential, but he just can't catch. Honestly, no, no. No, they're C tier. I can't put them in D. I can't fathom it. Ladd McConkey's too good. Johnson had a lot of good moments last year. I think that they could be a very good duo in the future. I don't care. And Mike Williams might be the wide receiver too. But Quentin Johnson's better. Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. I want to put them in A tier so badly because they're going to be so good, but we've really never seen them play together, so I can't be like, oh, they're A tier duo when we've never seen them. So I think that you have to put them into B tier here. Xavier Worthy broke out in this year's playoffs, and Rashee Rice did the same thing in last year's playoffs. So these two together, oh goodness, the league is not going to be ready for that one. Michael Pittman Jr. and does he have a junior like MPJ does? Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce. I think this is a C tier duo. Michael Pittman did not have a great year last year. I don't really consider Alec Pierce the wide receiver too. I'd say it's Josh Downs, and if you're saying Josh Downs, that puts them right there in that C tier, and I think that that's completely fair. Michael Pittman's probably on the same level as Courtland Sutton, and Alec Pierce is on the same level as Quentin Johnson and Marvin Mims, which they're better than Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman and Marvin Harrison and Mike Wilson, so deal with it. Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. Oh man, are they A tier or are they B tier? Terry McLaurin is obviously better than any wide receiver in B tier, but is Deebo Samuel better than any receiver in B tier? He's only for sure better than Rome Odunze. I don't know if he's better than Rashee Rice. I don't know if he's better than Xavier Worthy. I don't know if he's better than Jawan Jennings. He's definitely not better than DJ Moore, and he's definitely not better than Brandon Ayuk. But does that warrant putting them in A? I think that Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel are a B tier wide receiver duo, but they would be at the top of the Bs. I'm sorry. Y'all, it's like borderline A for me. Borderline A, but I can't put them in A. They're just not as good as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Is what it is. I'm sticking with my guns here. CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert as a wide receiver duo. Jalen Tolbert as your wide receiver two. CeeDee Lamb's too good to not at least have them in C, but Jalen Tolbert is the wide receiver too. Come on, Dallas, what are we doing? Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the Miami Dolphins wide receiver duo. Where would I put them in a ranking? I'm putting them right there at A tier. I think a lot of you would probably have them at S tier. I do not think that they're an S tier wide receiver duo at all. Tyreek Hill kind of fell off. Not really fell off. I'm using that term loosely. He had a down year. Jalen Waddle down year, but there was a lot of inconsistent play at the quarterback position, so I don't know how much I really can put that on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I guess we're going to see how that goes as the season progresses next season. So I think A is fair for now, but if I had to guess where they'd be by the end of the year, probably in that B tier category if I had to project. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver duo A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Obviously, an S tier wide receiver duo. They have arguably the best wide receiver two in the game and a very good top wide receiver one, probably top five wide receiver in the NFL in A.J. Brown. So, yeah, the Eagles are going to be our next S tier team. And now we've got the Atlanta Falcons, Drake London and Darnell Mooney. I honestly almost want to put them in A. Almost want to put them in A. Drake London, super underrated. Darnell Mooney, also very underrated. Have a great year last year, but I can't put them in A. They're definitely B tier. Borderline, though. They're very close to A. I'd say they're closer to A than anybody else other than McLaurin and Samuel. Next, we got Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson. Malik Neighbors absolutely carries this duo. Wan'Dale Robinson's not bad. 500-yard receiver in my eyes, like 6 touchdowns maybe. But Malik Neighbors is a dog. That's going to put them in the C tier category for sure. Then we got Brian Thomas Jr. and Gabe Davis of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's going to be a D tier duo. Brian Thomas is so good, but Gabe Davis drags this duo down really badly. If the Jaguars draft a wide receiver, this duo instantly becomes a C. If they get Tet, if they get Beck from TCU, I think is where he's from, Isaiah Bond, Luther Burden, there's plenty of guys. There's plenty of guys that they could go get, and this duo would move up to C or B. Next, the New York Jets wide receiver duo, Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard. Tell me you didn't just cringe hearing that. Allen Lazard. That's going to be, oh, it's got to be C if I'm basing it off of like you kind of have a high end wide receiver two, low wide receiver one, and then a bad wide receiver two. I think Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard is fair to put in C tier as a wide receiver duo. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams, the wide receiver duo for the Detroit Lions. That is an A tier wide receiver duo, probably the closest to S tier within the A tier. If that made any sense, Amon-Ra St. Brown, top 5 wide receiver 1. Jamison Williams, top 5 wide receiver 2. Kind of talking myself into putting them in S tier. I don't know if Jamison Williams is quite there yet, because he's right at 5, man. But yeah, they're A tier. They're A tier. Next up, the Green Bay Packers. Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed as your wide receiver duo is not a great wide receiver duo, but I would take it over Khalil Shakir. I'd take it over all the ones in D tier, which means I'm putting them in C tier. They would just be at the bottom of C tier. So it's kind of like a C minus or yeah, C minus D plus type of situation for the Packers wide receiver duo. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers wide receiver duo, Adam Thielen and Xavier Legette. I think Xavier Legette has all the potential in the world. Adam Thielen still has juice in him. I'm going to put them at D. I don't think they're as bad as Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, but they're definitely not any better than D. So next up, we got the New England Patriots and Stephon Diggs and Demario Douglas. We have no idea how Stephon Diggs is going to be. And Pop Douglas, while coming off his best season, him as your wide receiver two is not going to cut it. That has to be D tier. I think that will change, though. They're going to draft a wide receiver in this draft. If Travis Hunter falls to them at 4, falls. Stephon Diggs and Travis Hunter would be a B tier duo. I don't care. They'd go all the way up to B. Next up, the Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver duo, Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. This is going to be our second F tier duo. I don't really need to explain this one much. Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker, obviously an F tier duo. I think Trey Tucker is super underrated, and I love Jacoby Myers, one of my favorite players in the league, but they got to be F tier. Puka Nakua, and Devontae Adams. Remember when I said earlier that there is a wide receiver duo better than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Remember when I said that? Well, I'd said that for a reason for sure, because we're going to have to add a row above, right where Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are, because this is going to be S plus. This is the best wide receiver duo in the league. I don't need to see them play together. I know this is the best wide receiver duo in the league. Absolutely nasty wide receiver duo. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, top 10 wide receiver. Puka Nacua, top 10 wide receiver. How are they not the best wide receiver duo in the league? Argue with a wall. I know I'm right. Because look at them. It's Devontae Adams. Acting like he wasn't good last year is crazy and honestly a sin. And Puka Nacua, amazing wide receiver, triple crown potential esque wide receiver. Moving on to the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not talking anymore about the Rams. Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. This one, see, this is one of those like they low key have two wide receiver twos, which means I'm putting them in C tier, but they are better than the Packers wide receiver duo and the Giants wide receiver duo probably, and definitely the Colts wide receiver. I'm actually going to move Pittman and Pierce down to D. I don't like them being with the rest of them. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is fair. I think this is fair for sure. Ah, man, it's kind of ugly. Anyways, Chris Olave and Brandon Cooks. I don't know if Brandon Cooks actually signed with the Saints. I didn't know that that happened. If that happened, someone's got to let me know. But Chris Olave, good receiver. Brandon Cooks, definitely washed. This is going to have to be a D tier wide receiver duo. If I could add a tab, I would. Oh, actually, don't mind me. I was looking at the Avs game. Let's see. Brandon Cooks. Wow, he did sign with the Saints. Wow. Second time being with New Orleans. That's kind of awesome. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Good for Brandon Cooks. I love Brandon Cooks, also one of my favorite players, but yeah, that's a D tier. That's a D tier duo right now. Definitely can move up though. JSN and Cooper Cup, that is in it's borderline S, but I'd put them at A. We haven't seen them play together. Two kind of slot-ish wide receivers. Haven't We saw it successful with the Rams with Puka Nacua and Cooper Cup, who both can play the slot. So we'll see how Seattle can do it. Hopefully they're able to make it work. But definitely A is their floor. A is their floor. Cooper Cup and JSN, great wide receivers there. DK Metcalf and George Pickens, two top 15 wide receivers. Obviously an A tier team or A tier duo there, 100% in my mind, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Nico Collins and Tank Dell of the Houston Texans, that wide receiver duo, very, very close to putting them in S. Probably the next closest to S tier would be Nico Collins and Tank Dell. Nico Collins is a top 7 wide receiver, and Tank Dell is so good, but he's injured. I don't know if Christian Kirk is really going to be the wide receiver too. I'd still keep them in A. Probably wouldn't think as highly of them if it's Christian Kirk, but still an A tier. Next, moving on, we've got the Tennessee Titans wide receiver duo and Calvin Ridley and Davis. I don't know who that is. Is that Corey Davis? That can't be Corey Davis. It doesn't matter who it is. Corey Davis, Glenn Davis. I can't think of any more Davises other than Davis from Davis and from Sidemen. Sidemen. AMP, Davis, Davis, Sidemen. Crazy poll. Yeah, that's going to be D tier. Chris Olave and Brandon Cooks have to move up. I'm sorry, I can't disrespect. Calvin Ridley and Davis are moving up down to F tier. Yeah, it is what it is. Who the hell is Davis? Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. S tier. This is an S tier wide receiver duo. Jordan Addison and great wide receiver two. Justin Jefferson, probably the best wide receiver one in the NFL. How can that not be an S tier duo? That is the wide receiver duo ranking tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments if you agree, disagree. What do you agree with? What's wrong? What's right? I think honestly, this is a great list. Not much I would really change here. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, show some love in the comments. Let me know your favorite superhero. I've been on a superhero kick lately, or if I should watch Daredevil because I need to watch it, or Invincible. I haven't seen either, but I want to watch them. Anyways, hopefully you watched and enjoyed the video. Thank you guys very much. If you want to see another tier list, let me know what I should rank next. Peace out, y'all. Y'all are for real the best. I still have not stopped recording. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate y'all.